Hey, yo, this is Mr. Sackhead. You don't need to know. This guy doesn't do any commercials during his YouTube videos. Why don't you help him out by hitting the subscribe button? All right, back to the witness protection program.
I'm not so sure if that's an endorsement or not, but thank you. Hello, everybody, wherever you may be. My name's Larry. My call sign's Kilo 7 Hotel November. Welcome back. It's Ham Radio Live. Oh, my goodness. I'd like to ask you to please hit that subscribe button. It'll help people find the channel here on YouTube that have an interest in ham radio, shortwave radio, radio in general, really. Welcome to Monday. It's Monday, the 25th day of January 2021. Wow. Can you believe it? In 1 week, just 1 week, it'll be February already. Holy moly. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Please hit that subscribe button. It'll help me out, okay? Yeah. It helps people find the channel here on YouTube. Thanks for being here. It's a fun way to start the show. How are you today? It's good to see you. Berg's all the way from Sweden has joined the program. Thank you, Bergs, for coming. What a joy it is to see you. Welcome from Scandinavia. Yeah, I never lose sight of how cool that is. To me, that's really cool because here you are all the way there in Scandinavia, and here I am all the way here. Now, let me start the show up by saying for audio levels on my mic, we have some people that are hard of hearing, and because of that, I like to run my mic just a little hot typically because that way they don't have to turn up their phone or their speakers too loud on their computer. The whole idea of the show is, as I've said before, I want people to, to be able to put their phone in their pocket if they're watching this on replay. There's no commercials, so you don't have to worry about hitting the stupid skip ad button. Hate those things. Anyway, so you put the phone in your pocket, listen to the whole show from beginning to the end. You don't have to worry about any ads and just enjoy the program. That's the whole point of it all. So, for some people, the mic might be too hot. For some, not hot enough. But I'd rather let you turn down the audio because turning it up, you can only go so far, right? Welcome to the show. Glad to see you. Toby's here. Toby has made it to the show from Germany. Hey, Toby. Welcome back. Yeah. That's Delta Oscar 1, Tango Oscar Bravo. Wow, great to see you, Toby. What a joy. Ed, waiting on his call sign. Ed, I want to say this to you. I'm so excited to say this to you. Welcome to Ham Radio. Welcome to Ham Radio, buddy. You did it. You got your technician. So proud of you, man. So proud of you. The way it is right now with the FCC, about 2 weeks, 10 days, 2 weeks, somewhere in there. But you'll get that call sign. And then you got to decide, right? Because we're going to help you. We want to work you up to general so you can get up to those more frequencies, get up to maybe using 20 and 40 meters. And then you got to decide, man, do I want to keep this first call sign? Because this was mine originally, right? Or pick one of your own. If you decide to do that, by the way, Ed, if you decide to do that, make sure that you understand time is short to get your call sign changed with the FCC database because they're going to start charging $35 for vanity call signs. So, if you decide you want to change that call sign, hurry and do that. But let's get you up to general so you can make that happen, man. Congratulations again on getting on the air. I think that's so cool. That's the whole purpose of this channel. What a joy. Let's take a look at some more folks. Thor, Larry Live, which from a hidden bunker, which may or may not be somewhere in Oregon. You are correct, sir. All the way from Minnesota. Thor, thanks for joining the show. Hey, man, thank you, Bergs. We're doing okay. A little cold for us here, but it always gets the same way. Here in Oregon, at least in the Western Valley where I live, it's called the Willamette Valley. A lot of vineyards here. Tons of wine is grown here. Anyway, we just get cold enough to be miserable and rain, but not quite cold enough to be beautiful and snow. Usually the south wind will come in like it is now and leave it like in the mid 30s, like 1 or 2 degrees Celsius, just warm enough to be miserable, but not cold enough to be beautiful. Happens again. It's happening again. They're saying snow tomorrow. We'll see. I can smell it usually with snow. It's got a certain smell, real clean smell coming. Not yet. Don't smell it yet. Hi, Traveler. Didn't miss a thing. Good to see you, my friend. Papa Alpha / Kilo X-Ray 4 Union India is in the house. Well to see, man. Trevor, always a pleasure to see you. And a big congrats again to Ed. What a great thing. Bob, Victor Alpha 3, Tango Kilo Oscar. Welcome from Canada. Wow. That is so cool to have you, man. Thanks for being here today, Bob. You're going to like today's show. You're going to like it. And Toby says, have fun with your new hobby. You got this, Ed. You do. You do. We're going to try and do our best to help you move up to general. Tomorrow's show, Ed, we're going to do general questions for the FCC test to try and help you because you've already accomplished so much by getting your license. Now, if we can help you up to get that general, you get 97% of the frequencies on ham radio. Stick around. We'll have a lot of general this week to try and help you study to get up. Now, we're not going to be able to be the whole answer for you, but at least maybe a little help, a little encouragement for you. You can do it, Ed. Congratulations. Today, we're going to be having a fun show. I hope you enjoy it. I really do. We're going to be celebrating somebody who does things the old way. We have a viewer that's really good on this channel. Wonderful man. Name is Gunter. He's from Wiesbaden, Germany. And Gunter really has that heart and spirit for DX. He loves to work gray line, loves to work long distance. So his passion really is working outside his own country. Now, a lot of us share that passion, but Gunter does it with specific challenges that we don't face. In fact, after getting to know Gunter a little better, I got to be really honest with you. I really feel guilty because I have so much here and he doesn't. I mean, he's got radios, but he doesn't have the ability to put up an antenna. So for him, it has been a challenge, but not so much he can't do it. I'm going to tell you a story real quick, but I do want you to know what a goofball he is. He is truly one of those guys that makes you just smile. He goes to a club station that's about 3 to 4 miles from his house. Not every day, but 3 to 4 times a week. Now, he goes out there. It's about 7.5 miles round trip in all kinds of weather. Now, the club station, to give you just a visual, he goes in the dark, right? It's dark because he wants to work DX. So he gets there. They have a gate. He unlocks the gate, goes to the door, unlocks the door, goes inside a dark hallway to turn the breaker panel on. That's what it's like. But then he has to go and lower a ladder down. This is no lie. Climb up the ladder, get into the attic where the radio is. He pulls a cardboard box up off of an IC7300, turns on a 500-watt amplifier, the computer there at the club station, up in the attic, right where it's cold in the winter, hot and humid in the summertime, and he works DX. Gunter is truly the heart and soul of what ham radio still is to a lot of people. And so many of us look in our ham shack, right? We walk in, it's nice and warm. We just turn on our radios, kick back in a nice chair, and we relax, right? And I can't overestimate, I can't tell you enough how important it is to have a really good chair to sit in. Seriously, that's very important. You're going to be sitting there a while, so have something comfortable. If you can find a really good chair that you like and you're going to be sitting there for hours, it's important. Now for Gunter, it's different. He doesn't have huge headroom. Again, he's in an attic. He's not warm because it's an attic and it's cold up there, but he still works DX. Let me show you a little bit of Gunter and what a character he is. Gunter sends me tons of songs. Now, think about it this way. Gunter's in Germany, but he speaks great English. I wish I could speak multiple languages. He does. He speaks English and German very well. This is what a goofball Gunter is, okay?
The lights go on in my condo, and the gray line ain't far away. Then I wanna be there at my ham shack. Oh, oh. That must been about my.
He's blaming like
cereals,
corn
you know?
chips.
Yeah, there's what is in there? Corn, raisins.
There's Gunter, okay? That's what kind of a character he is. He comes to the channel a lot, and he loves to work DX. I don't know when Gunter sleeps. I think it's in shifts, to be honest. Truly, he does. Because he's up most of the night trying to work DX in that club station up in the attic. Let me give you an example of what he's doing. And the reason why yesterday's show, when we talked about the possible death of ham radio in the next generation, is because we talked about a lot of solutions to help younger people learn about ham radio. Well, this one's going to be fun because he does use an Icom 7300, and that is the most polarizing radio I have yet to talk about. Whenever I brought up the 7300, man, the comment section lit up with people being angry or frustrated because it's a 7300. But man, he makes it sing. Gunter knows 7300s, and he's good at it. He can make it work really well. Traveler, welcome. Thank you. He is the man. Gunter's funny, isn't he? He is funny, dude. Martin, welcome from the Netherlands. Papa Echo 9, Tango India Golf. All right, let's take a look. Show you what Gunter does up in that attic in the cold after walking 3.5 miles from his condo. Take a look at this. This is Gunter trying to work. This is Gunter trying to work North America. Now take a look. He's trying to work North America on 80 meters using a G5RV antenna.
All the blessings of God to your family. Bye-bye.
Delta Kilo 5.
All right, I'm going to pause it there. For new hams, do you see what he did? He just read his prefix. He didn't go his whole call sign. He just did his prefix. There's a reason for that. Gunter knows, working DX, that if you just give the prefix, that tells the person on the other end exactly where you are in the world. Okay? That's where he's going with this. So he's trying to let the person in North America know, hey, this is Germany calling. And speaking of Gunter, there he is. How about that? Hi, Gunter. Yeah, this show's about you, buddy. Be careful, okay? So here we go. Let's listen in as Gunter tries to work DX on 80, technically 75, but that's okay, into North America.
Yeah, I'm sorry, AA350 must went to bed, so he had to do something in the morning. Good luck to Delta Kilo 5.
Thank you very much. This is Delta Kilo 5, Oscar November Victor. You're very loud here in Germany. 20 over S9. Good morning.
Okay, Gunter, you have the surprise. Okay, listen, Gunter. I don't think they know you made some of those fantastic videos. The one there is really good. So I watched your videos the other day, and I didn't know about those. And so, wow, you made some really wonderful videos. I really appreciate that. Anyway, I do have to go, and I know Nick wants to go too, but we have to say hello to a very good friend here. And we missed you on 40 meters, and the distance has not been good. Anyway, how are you doing? And I hope you will excuse me, and I apologize that I have to go, but we made it here. So just great. I always keep it on just in case.
Of course, you hear all the fade. Again, he's on 80 meters. This is 80 into North America from Germany.
Boy, keep those videos coming. That was fantastic. DK5ONV, he's on YouTube, Nick. He made one or two videos of our group there, and they're really wonderful. WE3FEC. Back to you, Gunther.
Thank you very much for the compliment, Jim. Thank you very much. 80 meters is very, very noisy tonight. I just moved my VFO up and down, and I could hear you finishing the QSO here on the 3795. It's our first contact on 80 meters, Jim. It's our first contact on 80. So I better let you go, and I'll try to talk to you maybe tomorrow. Have a good night, 73s into Pennsylvania, and I'm looking forward to talk to you again, maybe on 40 with the boys from Puerto Rico, or even up here on the 80-meter band. 73s, Jim, DK5ONV.
Okay, very good, Gunter. Perfect copy, 100%, nice signal. You're around a 5'7" or so, 5'8", 5'7", 5'8".
So he's working 5'7" to 5'8" on 80 meters using a G5RV at an Icom 7300.
I don't think they're quite as good as they can be. Tell us my mixed signal's down a little bit from the high end. It probably will peak up later, though. But you're very good copy, and great to make our first contact on 80 meters here. And I really like those little videos you made, Gunter. So any more you want to make sometime when we have good conditions like that, that's great. And wow, that one day you were really getting me strong, and I know you couldn't believe it either. So it was really fantastic to watch. And I think I will try to send some links out to the other guys so they can see some of the videos. Very nice. Okay, Gunter, I'm going to say 73. Thank you for letting me know here, and really made our day here, Nick and I, that we could bring you in there. And Nick, you should go check, just type in the call there, DK5ONV. We have some really nice videos there. So, okay, with that, I'll turn it back to Nick, so Nick can we'll see you on 40 meters. Now I'm really going to stop.
Okay, all right. We're going to end that part there because it goes quite long. So that's Gunter, and he's working 80 meters into North America all the way from Germany, which is fantastic. Think about it, what he's using here, okay? He's using an Icom 7300. Now, granted, he's using a 500-watt amplifier. That's important to note. But he's not using a fancy antenna. Okay, he's not using a strong vertical. He's using a G5RV that's strung into trees. That's what he's doing, okay? That's what he does. So, we talk about our antennas and what we have, but he's using basic stuff, and he's working because he cares about it enough to go from his condo 3.5 miles to the club station to turn everything on in the dark and cold to do this. That's inspiring to me. It's phenomenally inspiring. And it makes me a little guilty of the things that I have around me that I can just sit around and use when I want to. Gunter, I'm proud of you. I want you to know how proud of you I am, because you're exactly what ham radio is supposed to be, okay? It's about the pure love of radio, but this isn't all. Now, I want you to think about this. Gunter goes there almost every night to the club station 3 or 4 times a week. So I shouldn't say almost every night, but 3 or 4 times a week is good, right? Up most of the night till sunlight, and then he walks home. Okay. For 3 straight nights, literally 3 straight nights, literally, he tried to work South Africa, which is a tough one from Europe, really hard for the Western United States. That's almost the toughest QSO from the Western United States. He's trying to make it from Germany, all right? 2 straight nights, he got skunked. He kept going back to try and make that call because he knew it was close. He knew propagation was real close to being able to allow his radio and that antenna to work all the way from Germany down to South Africa. Take a look at this. This should really make you smile.
Delta Kilo 5, Oscar November Victor.
Okay, all right, there is Delta Kilo 5, yes.
Delta Kilo 5, Oscar November Victor. Very good morning to you.
Okay, Delta Kilo number 5, Oscar November Victor, is correct.
Yeah, thank you very much. Delta Kilo 5, Oscar November Victor. I'm 18 miles west of Frankfurt. You're doing a beautiful 55 here. 55 is your report. Back to you.
Yes, good morning. Pleasure to meet you. Thank you for 555. You're 556. 13, sir. What is your name?
My name is Gunter, Golf Uniform, November, Tango, Echo, Radio. My name is Gunter, back to you.
Okay, Gunther. This is Bill, Bravo, India, Lima. Again, a pleasure to meet you. Not the Europe this morning. Delta Kilo 5, Oscar November Victor, 006 Charlie Yankee. Gunther, have a good day.
Thank you very much, Bill. Stay safe, 73s, and hope to talk to you again. DK5ONV is waving a hand.
Yes, I look forward to it, Gunther, many times. 73006 Charlie Yankee.
Yeah, baby, this is how it goes, man. This is how it goes. I would have loved to talk to him longer, but he got a lot of stations. He got a lot of stations calling him, and I'll try to get in touch with him. I'm trying to get in touch with him since this is day number 3. Yeah. And you see, this is paying off. You really need a lot of patience and sitting in front of your radio. I mean, I'm not working with web SDR radio stations and stuff like that. All I'm doing is sitting in front of my radio, and I'll check on the propagation forecast. This is what I do every then and when, and I just simply sit in front of my radio and moving my VFO very slowly, and I do listen. All I'm doing is listening, and sometimes I get lucky. Then there's a bunch. There's a little DX group with 4 or 5 people. They got beam antennas and stuff like that. Of course, they got all the advantage, you know, compared to a full-size G5RV antenna. So, yeah, and then I participate every then and when. But mostly, I'll try it alone on my own. Just listening, and if I hear the wave is coming up, the signal is coming up like it did a couple minutes ago. About half an hour ago, I just hear stations talking to Zulu Sierra 6 Charlie Yankee, but I didn't hear him, so I had to be more patient. I was moving my VFO a couple kilohertz up and down, and always putting an eye on that frequency on 7152. And you see, guys, and as you see, guys, this paid off. So my first contact on the 40 meter band into South Africa. Man, what a project. Thank you very much, DK5ONV.
Look at that smile. Look at that. That's why I froze this clip right there. That took 3 nights. Folks, that took 3 nights to happen for him up in that attic. Look, you can see the rafters. You can see the insulation. That's where he's at. This is phenomenal. And Martin, you hit it right in the head. Absolutely. Yep. Yep, you hit it right in the head. That's what the joy of accomplishing great things in DX does. Right there. That's Gunter, DK5ONV. For those that would like to find his channel on YouTube, just search DK5ONV. That's Delta Kilo 5, 1 nice voice. Okay, that one's for you, Gunter. All right. So Gunter had waited 3 days to make that call. And what he basically said is what ham radio operators that would love to work long distance QSOs to other countries need to learn. There's a wave that comes up, and we've all heard it, but for new hams, this is really important. Okay. Listen carefully. Please, this is so important for new hams or younger hams. The beautiful touch screens that are out now that have the beautiful pen adapters and waterfalls, right? They look very cool, but that's not how to work a radio. You work a radio with your ears, okay? If you need to, close your eyes and listen. Might help you. That's what I do. I close my eyes when I work DX. I'll have my eyes closed. I'll turn the VFO carefully and I'll listen. And oftentimes I'll listen for people calling a station back that's going to be DX. And I'll wait. And the reason I'm waiting is because the propagation line is coming then. If they can hear that station, it's possible I will too. Now, I want to give you a word of caution. Remember, there are two sides to a wave, right? The incoming part and the part that goes back out to sea. You could be on the part that's going back out to sea, where you don't hear them anymore because you've missed the window. It's usually a very small window, maybe a few minutes sometimes, but you keep working at it. And if you keep working at it, you're going to make that special call. So patience. Ham radio operators really need to have patience and diligence to continue to work. So endurance is important, people. It really is important, folks. Have patience. Don't give up. Just because you didn't make the call 1 or 2 nights doesn't mean you won't. If you hear a DX station on frequency and it's on the same frequency a couple times in a row, it means that they like to work on that frequency. Pay attention to it. Wait for it and wait for the wave to come. Could be short and you might miss it a few times. But when you get it, man, are you going to be thrilled? So let's look at your comments because I know it was a little long there, but I wanted to really to show what it must be like to be him, to walk that far, to work a radio station, then go down the ladder, turn the breaker off, lock up the building, lock up the gate, and walk 3.5 miles home in the rain or the snow this time of year or in the heat of summer home. That's truly the love of ham radio. And that's inspiring to me. And it made me feel, again, really kind of selfish or guilty because I have some radios and I can sit here and do them in the warmth. Gunter, I'm proud of you. I really am. You do good work. Find him on YouTube at DK5ONV. That's Delta Kilo 5, one nice voice. Yep. Martin putting the love up today. NCT putting up a Wyndham antenna today. He's looking forward to getting on the air. We're going to make that QSO. We are. I'm looking forward to that. Team replay for the win, my friend, right? Yeah, absolutely. Okay. DK5ONV in the house. Thanking Sweden. He said this station, Zulu Sierra, which is a big one. ZS stations are South Africa, and they're tough to work for both North America, Europe, folks in Asia. It's a tough call. Anyway, DK5ONV said this station, Zulu Sierra 6, Charlie Yankee, was hard to work. But it made it all worthwhile at the end because he made the call. It's pretty cool. Traveler says, never underestimate a dipole at some height, almost 100% radiation efficiency. Bingo, bango, bongo. Yep. That's the whole point. You can get a G5RV or a monobander, whatever you want to use, but get it up high. Let it have a chance to work for you. Because if you have it 20 feet off the ground, sure, it may look high, but the takeoff angle is going to be really high. Get it up 40, 50, 60, 70 feet. The higher you get it up, that takeoff angle, instead of being like this, going up to the ionosphere, is more flat and goes farther. So height makes such a difference, whether it be a vertical or a wire antenna. Get it up high. You're going to see huge results from that. Great comment, Traveler. Love it. Gunter says, I had nights at the station with no contacts over the pond. All I did was listening. Sometimes propagation's there and sometimes they suddenly drop. Patience, so important in ham radio. Really is so important. Thor from Minnesota, even if the station you're trying to contact is weak, try to contact him. Your signal to him may be strong. One other thing, thank you, Thor, you're right. One other thing, antenna on one side of the QSO can make all the difference in the world. Think about it. If the person on the other end is running a beam, all right, they're going to help you out because they're running a directional. They've got not only directionality to you, better transmit signal, but they can hear you better too. So if you've got a good transmit antenna on one end, magical things can happen because that beam's going to help you make that call, okay? So that's when directional beams can help the person without the directional beam. So don't think just because you don't have the big directional up there spinning around that you're at such a disadvantage. You might be surprised with that person on the other end because they may have that directional beam, and that makes all the difference in the world. Thank you, Thor. Good stuff. DK5ONV, this is Gunter, says, I'm looking forward to spring break to finally come. to, sounds like to Sweden for his outdoor hard case, going to be doing some DX work. And he says, ham radio is fun, guaranteed. How about that? Good stuff. You're right about that, Gunter. He says also, every station I worked gave me plus or minus about 1S unit, the same report back as I heard them. No matter if they had a huge monoband, full-size Yagi, or just a wire like me. So what he's saying is the receive report and the transmit report were within 1S unit. Takes time. Be patient. You're going to be surprised what you can do with DX. DX is the most fun part of ham radio, in my opinion. It's the greatest ever. And check this out. Tom is in the house. Tom, welcome to the show. So happy you're here. That's awesome. Tom is actually in the Middle East. So him coming to the show means a lot because where he's at, it's almost 11 o'clock at night. Tom says, hi, Larry, worked Zulu Sierra, which is South Africa, from Bulgaria using an end-fed half-wave top wire at 45 feet. Yep. Height. Height makes all the difference in the world. If you can get your antenna up, I always say 40 feet minimum. Minimum 40 feet. It's going to give you a better takeoff angle. Then from there, it's a bonus. Everything above 40 is a bonus. Now, when we get the MFJ 1848 directional up here, it's going to be just below 40, but that's as high as I can get it and feel comfortable with it on my roof with windstorms that might come up and move it around. I don't want it tipping over, obviously. So going to 40 or 50 feet is just not going to work because it's too high to be able to control. But for me, at least having it 38, 37, 38, 39 feet is much better than having it at 15 or 20 because I get a much lower takeoff angle and I get the directionality. So it makes it much better. Working on that, by the way. Still waiting on some pieces from MFJ, but they're waiting on pieces from their manufacturer. Everyone in ham radio is waiting on manufacturing right now because the manufacturers are on short shifts, right? All these folks that are building like, fiberglass components, integrated circuits, all these folks that are working really hard to build the components that we all need are on short shifts. Therefore, product isn't getting out to the manufacturers fast enough. That's why the K4D is late coming here, okay? Otherwise, we'd have it already. But it'll be middle to late February. It'll be fun. And by the way, speaking of middle to late February, I want to invite you all. We had to make some changes to our Hawaii trip. We talked about live from Waikiki, running live. And we will do the shows, by the way. We'll do 2 or 3 shows live on the channel from Hawaii. However, we had to make some changes to our trip. Because Hawaii has coronavirus restrictions that are very, very strict, let me tell you how bad. If you want to go from, say, our trip was to go from Oregon to Honolulu on the island of Oahu. We're going to do the live from Waikiki shows, right? Well, in Hawaii now, if a traveler wants to go from, the mainland to Hawaii, they have to get a coronavirus test. That's fine. It has to be within 72 hours of your departure. So we'll do that. Then we planned 3 days in Waikiki. Hawaii has travel restrictions so tight that if you decide you want to go from one island to another, you need to be COVID tested again. You have to have a negative COVID test. Then you can go to that island. If you go to another island like we plan to go Oahu to Kauai. So I was going to do live shows from both Oahu and Kauai for you. But then at Kauai, you have to have another coronavirus test before we flew to Maui. Now, what if, in the most awful circumstances possible, my wife or I, tested positive for coronavirus? Now we're trapped on the island for 2 weeks of quarantine, and you can believe there's not going to be any ham radio being done. So we had to make a big change to our trip and say, okay, we're just going to go to one island. We're going to go from the North American continent to Maui and spend our whole time there. So we'll be live from a few beaches on the island of Maui, and there's going to be one show that I hope you'll really enjoy. We're going to be up high, probably about 4,000 to 5,000 feet on the side of Haleakala, which is a beautiful, beautiful extinct volcano. The challenge is going to be getting the antenna in the ground because it's lava, right? But we'll do our best. We'll get it on there. I'll have a tripod or something figured out. But we're going to go live and try and work some DX from Hawaii to wherever we can make it work on the Icom 7300 using solar panel. We'd love to make that QSO with you. Start those shows right about the 27th of February. So 27th of February through about March 3rd, watch the channel. You'll see us live from Hawaii, and we'll be trying to make QSOs. All right, let's take a look at your comments. Got some great ones today. My goodness, look at all the folks that are here. Holy moly, Glenn is here from, look at this. Hold me, go up, I'm gonna scroll way up. Wow, you guys are active. By the way, hello, Uncle Kim. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Glenn Stevenson, that's what I was looking for, all the way here from Australia. This is Australia calling. Glenn, it's great to see you. I'm so grateful you're here. I know it's very early in the morning where you are, and I face a tough battle doing the show. I try and do it at 1900 Zulu, but I realize for folks in Australia like you, Australia, Japan, Asia, Philippines, folks that watch this channel cannot watch it live. So the Friday shows are always later because it gives people in Australia and Asia a chance to watch them live then. That's their shot to get on the live show. So you being here at this time is very cool. Thank you, Glenn, for being here. I didn't miss the fact you were here. Thank you for coming. All right, let's get back to your comments. You guys got lots of stuff to talk about here. Holy cow. Traveler with a good comment. Never underestimate a dipole. At some height, almost 100% radiation efficiency. Dead right. Absolutely. Yep, he did. And Gunter talks about many nights the station was just simply no contacts. Sometimes it happens. That's ham radio. Remember, we've talked about that. It's like fishing. Sometimes you catch one, sometimes you don't, but you always enjoyed the time you made there at the pond, didn't you? Right? That's the best part. So, thumbs up. Thanks, guys. I always appreciate that. Thank you. I'm just a simple guy. I am. I'm just a simple guy. Thank you, guys. Thank you. All right, let's take a look more at your comments. Again, Tom, thanks for being here from the Middle East. That's in Saudi Arabia, my friends, just so you know. Ward Dixon, Whiskey 6, Whiskey Delta from Southern California. DX is the very best, exciting when you work a country for the first time. I woke my family up the first time I got Australia. I did. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. I started hooting and hollering and screaming and yelling. My wife comes in out of a dead cold sleep and says, "Is everything okay?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I just got Australia." Well, my goal in ham radio, my 2 goals have been Australia and UK. Now I've made Australia. I technically got UK because I got an upper island out of Scotland, but he never confirmed. So I'm still waiting on that UK. I'll do the same thing. I'm probably going to wake my family up and probably half the neighborhood as well. Yep. Gunter says, built myself up an end-fed half wave for my coming up season outside as a portable station. So that should be good. NCT, best I can do is the top of my chimney, about 30 feet. That should do. The best antenna is the one you have up in the air. Bingo. That is the right answer right there. Exactly right answer. Yes. You use what you have, okay? You use what you have. Not all of us can afford a tower with a directional. We just can't do that. Now, some people can do that, but that doesn't mean you can't be on the air. Use what you have and make the most out of it. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing by putting the directional up on top of my roof. Okay, now I've got a nice, roof mount that's already there. It'll hold the mast. Next section is going to be the rotator. And then from there, the hex beam. Okay, total height about 38 feet safely. Okay, guide in 4 places with these Dobies that come from Ham Depot. About 20 pounds. So each section, about 100, not 120, they're like 45 apart, is going to be concreted down with these blocks that basically are kind of flat. They're maybe an inch, but they're big, so they weigh something. You got wires sticking out of them. My guy wire is going to be hooked to those wires, and those Dobies going to hold it each 45-degree angle, so it's got good strength against the wind. It's the whole idea. Going to have a rotor up there that's got some weight. And then you got a 27-pound antenna. Got to keep it safe. So use what you have. Great comment there by NCT. Thank you so much. Chuck says, why does a tuner have to be on CW, AM, or FM to tune? Why can that not be done on SSB? It's not a dumb question. Not at all. That's a great question. Chuck, I think a lot of us ask that question. I do. Here's why. You need a carrier. And this is a great question. The reason why we have to have AM or FM or CW to tune is because it provides a constant carrier. Now with SSB, and this is a great question, I'm so glad you asked this. It's a great question. With sideband, the carrier is missed. There's no carrier. You only have a carrier when you speak, okay? But on CW or AM or FM, you always have a carrier once you click the mic. that's the reference point for the tuner to use. It has a tone then, or a carrier, to be able to tune from, okay? SSB is missing the carrier. That's why. Great question. Great question. Let's see here. What we got? Gunter likes those wire antennas. He does, and he does good with them too. Ward, thank you. We'll be excited to share that with you guys. Love to have shared 3 islands, but we just couldn't do it. Not with the restrictions. That's it. And Tom, yep, that's the real ham spirit. Gunter, for doing what you do. Absolutely. Again, find him online at DK5ONV here on YouTube. You'll see what he does. Lots of stuff there that he does. Hi from the UK. Had my COVID jab yesterday, so feeling a bit safer. My 80-meter end-fed works like a dream. Ken, Golf 3, Whiskey, November Radio. Thanks for joining the channel today. It's truly a joy. Thank you, Ken. Wow, that's fantastic. Love 80 meters. I love 80 meters a challenge. Challenge your work far, DX, but it's possible with the right conditions. Great stuff. Great stuff. Thank you very much. Lars, I think you're the first. We now have Denmark in the house. Okay, so we have Sweden, Norway, and Denmark. That all Scandinavia. See, that's good for me because I'm Danish. So for me, this one right here, Lars, that really makes me happy. He's Oscar Zulu 8, Alpha Alpha Hotel. That deserves second applause. Thank you, buddy. Wow. Denmark, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for coming. That's fantastic. And yeah, Toby, there are no dumb questions. There's none. Please don't ever. For young hams, new hams, experienced hams that don't know, I don't know everything, for goodness sakes. It's always good to ask questions. Don't worry about it. By the way, let me just check something real quick because I want to update you guys with the current information I can. There is a really good opportunity for us to have a 10-tech transceiver coming to the channel. Now, not yet. Going to be in the summertime. I've talked to the owner of 10-tech. And we're talking about working out him sending a review unit for me to review live on the channel. 10-tech is still in business. Now, that's a legendary ham radio manufacturer. It goes back to the time of Drake and Collins when the most classic transceivers, especially transmitters, were made. 10-tech is still in business. Find them at 10tech.com. They're there. They're still making radios. They really are. And they're pretty cool. I think you'd be surprised. Yeah, so we're going to try and get a 10-tech on the channel. That'll be a ton of fun. James Stanley, hi from the UK. Sorry, late on to the parade. Missed the notification live chat. He's Mike 7, Bravo, X-Ray, Tango. James, welcome. It's good to see you, buddy. All the way from the UK. I'm going to make that call. Can't wait. In fact, I'm excited for the hex beam because it's the first thing I'm doing is I'm turning it to the northeast. Just a bit. It's right about 10 degrees northeast. If I tune it that way, in fact, let me make sure because I want to make sure I give you the right numbers from my location. You can always find it on QRZ. Put a call sign in from some place that you want to work. You'll find out. Just put a dummy contact. Just make sure you delete it, okay? If you try, like, for example, Gunter, if you want to put in Gunter's call sign, DK5ONV, then put in as a call that you made on QRZ. It's going to give you the compass headings. So if you have a directional, you'll know where to turn it, right? So in this case, if I wanted to work Europe, like I want to really bad, right? I want to work UK. The antenna is going to have to be turned right about 18 degrees, between 10 and 20. Between 10 and 20 for me to be able to go over part of the Arctic to come back over the European continent. So take a look at that. It'll give you an idea. If you're running a hex beam or directional, put in the call, then delete it. Make sure you delete it. Take a picture of it, you know, that's on your phone that you've made that call, then delete it because you haven't made the call. But it does give you an idea for, you know, how you turn your directional antenna, which way to go to best make that call. It's a very good tool to use. Dave's in the house from Temecula, California. Welcome, Dave. Whiskey 6, Charlie Radio Tango. Sunny, rainy Southern California, finally. And see, for people in Southern California, they're missing that rain. They need it. So good for you. Glad to hear that. Good, good, good. Tom says, great. 10-tech had a great interview at the Dayton Convention. Worth a watch. So look on YouTube at 10-tech at Dayton, okay? Still in business. Mike's still churning out radios over there, and he's got a passion to keep the company going. So if you can, buy a 10-tech amplifier or something that they're making right now because they're working hard on those. try and help them stay afloat, because we need Tentec to survive. Great products, great products. NCT, speaking of directions and bearings, any tips on where to get a custom azimuth map? I'm not sure on that. That's something that, you know, I've always, for NCT, what I've always done is I've always put in the call sign on QRZ, because it knows my QTH where I'm located. And then, you know, like I say, I'll take a picture of the contact so I know the bearing. And then that gives me a good idea. And then what I do is, I'm kind of silly. I'll go and I'll see the compass heading, and I'll use Google Maps on my phone, and I'll turn that direction. Because if you use Google Maps, you'll see the circle with the little flashlight going out the direction you're pointed, and I'll point that direction. It gives me a good idea of where I'm going. That's what I do. It's just a little simple way to do it. All right, we're going to do some more stuff here today, but I think what we'll do is we'll end the show tomorrow. General questions. Bergs, has your new antenna arrived? No, not yet. We're waiting on parts. In fact, I'm waiting on 2 antennas, waiting on parts for 2, waiting on the initial spreaders for the 1848 hex beam. It's a good question, Bergs. Second thing I'm waiting on is the Cushcraft 160 vertical. So, because I don't have room to put 232 feet of wire on my property, there's no way. I'm on a 50 by 75 lot, right? 232 feet of wire. Nope, not going to happen. So, we're going to use the Cushcraft 160 vertical to make that happen. So, monoband vertical antenna, looking forward to that. But the hex beam parts we need to get back, because the guy who came to help me put the antenna up had good intentions, but he wasn't quick at listening when I was saying stop. He kept going 2 or 3 more steps. Snap, crackle, pop went the spreaders. And who knew then how hard it'd be to get, you know, those spreaders back. So yeah, we'll get the antenna up as soon as we can. Probably be after Hawaii. James says, only got 10 watts, so I doubt you would hear my license restricts me to 10 watts. Hope propagation's good. He's from the UK. That's Jim. Mike 7, Bravo X-Ray Tango. Yeah. You know what? 10 watts will go a long ways. It will. I can work coast to coast here in the US on 10. So as propagation gets better, we get more sunspots. Hang in there, James. And don't worry about that. Just keep working at getting your next license level up. Okay, from foundation, try and get it up a little higher. Gives you about more. You'll be able to do a lot more with it for sure. Yeah, all right. And let's see what we got. Thor says, NCT, put in your location and you can print out a custom azimuth map. There you go. Gunter, tuning the antenna with my bare hand, turning it with his bare hands. Okay, all right. Guys, we're going to close the show. It's going to go a little longer to go in with the K3 and make a call or 2, but I think that's good. I think we had a nice show, and we had a chance to celebrate Gunter and have a nice conversation about DX. It does take patience, okay? Make sure that you're patient. You may not make that call. You may spend hours trying to make it, but boy, when you make that call, you're going to be so happy. You really will, okay? So be patient, be persistent, and good things will come. All right. Gunter says from Germany, thanks for being here, everyone. Happy Monday to all of you. Stay safe. 73's D Hollywood Gunter, a name that he got from these guys on a net on 80 meters. That's great stuff. Again, find him at DK5ONV here on YouTube. You'll see tons of his videos of making calls on DX. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please hit subscribe. We do not monetize here. I just refuse to. And believe me, I just had the $250 taken out of my account today to do the show for another year. But I'd rather do that and give back to help people get on the air and help them improve their ham shacks without putting a stupid ad that I don't want to see on this thing, because it makes your listening and watching experience better. You could help me by hitting the subscribe button so other people can find the show on YouTube, okay? Tomorrow, general questions. We'll do our very best to make it happen for you. Until then, 73's from Thor all the way in Germany, all the way in Minnesota, Gunter in Germany, and everybody else. Thank you so much for joining us. God bless you. Have a wonderful Monday. Goodbye, everybody.